Hello, friend. Looking for a good book to read for the month of March? You could go with the latest title trending on BookTube, or perhaps take the recommendation of a book enthusiast whose opinion you respect. Those might be good solutions. Those methods might steer you to a book you end up enjoying. Or, why not follow the map of the heavens? Let the celestial orbits point you to the right book at the right time. In this video, the first iteration of Your Bookish Horoscope for the month, I will go through all 12 astrological signs, and I will recommend 2 books for each sign, 1 horror and 1 literary. Join me, won't you? Aries. You've been feeling kind of invisible lately, haven't you? Sure, some people are seeing you, but are they really seeing you? It's tough, I understand. But don't despair. Things are going to start turning around on that front, and starting this very week. So, put your best foot forward, because your steps matter, and they will be noticed. If you would like to read a horror book this month, I recommend Carrie by Stephen King. Carrie is a young girl who was once invisible, and in this book, Carrie gets noticed. It's a lot of fun. Good book. Check it out. If you would like something more literary, I recommend Little What's His Name by Alphonse Daudet. This is a 19th century French classic, somewhat autobiographical. A young boy, small in stature, growing up in the south of France. As a young man, he moves to Paris to begin his literary career, despite the hostility of his peers. Good book. Check it out. Taurus. On a professional front, March is a good month to pay special attention to the details. Something you're not always great at, I know, but this month you're going to make an extra effort and everything will be okay. On the romantic front, take the bull by its horns. You'll find that's the way it likes to be taken, and you will be duly rewarded. If you would like to read a horror book this month, I recommend Suffer the Children by John Saul. It's a strange one, but given the month you're about to have, I think you'll take to it quite well. If you would like something more literary, I recommend A Visit from the Goon Squad by Jennifer Egan. Time is a goon, the book tells us, but time also has the ability to heal all wounds. It's a good one, winner of the Pulitzer Prize for Fiction in 2011, among many other awards. Check it out and enjoy the healing. Gemini. Are you a Gemini? That's my sign too. This month, you're going to experience a noticeable boost in confidence. That's nice. Unfortunately, your stubbornness may prevent you from taking full advantage of this. Don't let it. If you would like to read a horror book this month, I recommend Tender is the Flesh by Agustina Bazterrica. This isn't exactly a horror book, but it does deal with the horrific. In a dystopian future, humans are grown and farmed for their meat, for culinary purposes. How does this relate to stubbornness? It doesn't. But if you're a Gemini, you know why I'm recommending this book. If you would like to read something more literary, I recommend The Wanting Seed by Anthony Burgess. In a dystopian future, due to overpopulation, citizens are encouraged to be homosexual and women are discouraged from having children. Also, due to overpopulation and the consequential food shortage, many people resort to cannibalism. Check it out. I think you'll like it. And if you're not sure you want to read about cannibalism, wait until Thursday. You'll probably feel differently then. Cancer. With Jupiter conjoining favorably with the Sun and Mars high in the 8th house, on the career front, if you were born under the Cancer sign, March is not a good month to engage in corporate espionage. Instead, take advantage of the cleansing power of your element, water, and seek out submersion in all its facets. March is a great month for you to dive into a new and challenging creative project. Scrapbooking? Perhaps. If you have any public speaking to do this month, you're going to nail it. And on the romantic front, be wary of overcommitting. But isn't that every month with you, Cancer? If you would like to read a horror book this month, I recommend Looking Glass Sound by Catriona Ward. The story involves what goes on beneath the water's surface, perfect for you, and it involves a protagonist who has started writing a novel. The creative endeavor doesn't necessarily go well for the protagonist, but don't worry, it's just a story. Your creative endeavor will go much better. And it's a fun read that will keep you turning the pages. If you would like to read something more literary, I recommend The Book of Laughter and Forgetting by Milan Kundera. It's a novel comprised of 7 stories interwoven to form an examination of memory politics and social amnesia. Plus, there's lots of sex, which is nice. Leo. This month, Saturn will require you to work extra hard for success in your career. It may seem like your boss or your peers have it out for you, but don't worry. They'll get what's coming to them. Mercury will see to that. Just make sure you don't let them pull you down with them. Instead, stay focused on doing what you do best. Your hard work and steadfastness will see you through this brief period of turmoil. And maybe keep a bottle of your favorite wine handy for when they get their just desserts. It's okay to celebrate. You've earned it. If you would like to read a horror book this month, I recommend Sacrament by Clive Barker. It's an emotional read, full of loss and regret, but it has a strong and determined protagonist. You will find strength in following his story. If you would like something more literary, I also recommend for you A Visit from the Goon Squad by Jennifer Egan. Not surprising, given your compatibility with Taurus, that I should recommend the same book for both of you. Perhaps you might want to consider a buddy read. Virgo. If you love someone, set them free. Do you love yourself, Virgo? Have you set yourself free? Saturday, March 9th, when your ruling planet Mercury moves into Aries and your 8th house of transformation, that is the day to tear down the walls of the metaphorical prison you have built for yourself. If you need to, don't hesitate to tear down literal physical walls to help in your transformation process. A home makeover isn't on the table? Consider knocking down a fence. Or, when you go shopping, remove that rubber divider that separates someone else's items from yours. Break down the barriers in March, Virgo, every chance you get. The new moon phase of Sunday, March 10th occurs on your 7th house of partnership. Say yes to a new social or romantic invitation, especially if that invitation comes from someone involved in demolition. If you would like to read a horror book this month, I recommend Apartment 16 by Adam Neville. Residents of a prestigious London apartment building are trapped therein by a malevolent spirit. When a young woman inherits an apartment in the building, that spirit needs to move out to make room for the new occupant. Sound familiar, Virgo? Good book. Check it out. If you would like something more literary, I recommend The Road Through the Wall by Shirley Jackson. The wall surrounding a California suburb is torn down to make room for a new road, and despite attempts to keep up appearances, it is the gruesome act of a desperate young boy that exposes the ugliness within that community. Libra. Libra, your assignment for March is to examine the equality or lack thereof within your relationships. This coincides with an eclipse in your sign. Do you need a momentary blackout? Do you need to be shielded from the spotlight? As the tides pull at you, ride the waves of wisdom and catch the surf of serenity. Therein, you will see the undercurrent of underhandedness and the deluge of deleterious delegations that delineate the delta at the river of your understanding. Flooded with options? Consider changing streaming services. If you would like to read a horror book this month, I recommend The Fisherman by John Langan. At the heart of this supernatural horror is a story about loss and grief, not unlike Pet Sematary, but with more fishing. If you would like something more literary, I recommend The Fisherman by Chigozie Obioma. 4 brothers growing up in a small town in western Nigeria where superstition collides with solidarity. A Booker Prize nominee in 2015. Good book. Check it out. Scorpio. Perhaps, Scorpio, you are wondering what you will obsess about this month. Well, March is going to offer you many options. In romance, that thing that's been tickling the back of your mind could easily turn into a rash. You're going to want to scratch it. March is not a good month for you to do romantic mind scratching. Consider instead cutting down on your consumption of tomatoes. In career, use the prospects March will bring you to take full advantage of your lucky number, which, for March, is 5/8. If you would like to read a horror book this month, I recommend Disturb Not the Dream by Paula Trachtman. There are a lot of trigger warnings for this book, but if it's over-the-top revenge you're after, which, would you be a Scorpio if it weren't? I think you'll find your bloodlust satisfied with this little gem. If you would like something more literary, I recommend Wuthering Heights, which you've probably already read. If so, how about a more contemporary literary work? How about Drive Your Plow Over the Bones of the Dead by Olga Tokarczuk? An elderly woman suspects recent deaths in her mountain community might be the result of something far stranger than what local authorities claim, but no one will listen to her. A fun, quirky character study with a murder mystery backdrop. Plus, the protagonist is a horoscope enthusiast. Good book. Check it out. Sagittarius. When Venus in Aquarius bumps into Uranus in Taurus, you can expect a certain amount of upheaval. Don't let that stop you from living an adventure. Don't worry, you can handle it. However, March is not a good month to join a cult. But I do understand the temptation. When I was a child, I wanted to grow up to be a cult leader, live on a commune, have my very own hippie sex cult. But I never learned how to play the acoustic guitar. If you would like to read a horror book this month, I recommend Little Heaven by Nick Cutter. 3 mercenaries join together, reluctantly, to infiltrate a cult and rescue a child who's been dragged there by his brainwashed father. However, the 3 mercenaries quickly discover that the narcissistic, power-hungry cult leader, as evil as he may be, is not the greatest threat they will have to overcome. Little Heaven is big fun, with a trio of cool characters to root for. If you would like to read something more literary, I recommend Death Comes for the Archbishop by Willa Cather. This is a beautifully written story that unfolds at a smooth, peaceful pace. And, given the kind of month you're likely to experience, smooth and peaceful is exactly what you're going to need. Capricorn. Look into the heart of what confounds you. Your creativity will open new paths for you. Don't be shy about asking your peers for support. They are more eager to help than you give them credit for. As the moon leaves Sagittarius, do not look back with regret or sorrow. There is so much more ahead of you, like love. Albeit, not exactly the kind of love you were expecting or looking for, but it's still love, technically, and that's a good thing, right? If you would like to read a horror book this month, I recommend Rosemary's Baby by Ira Levin. It's a classic for a reason. And if you've ever thought about reading this one, March would be an excellent time to do so, when its themes will resonate with you that much more clearly. If you would like something more literary, I recommend Mother Howl by Craig Clevenger, a drama about the son of an infamous serial killer. He has his name changed in an effort to distance himself from his dark past, but as an adult, in order to make a life for his new wife and their infant daughter, he may just have to reclaim the name he'd been running from. Because sometimes moving on doesn't necessarily mean you have to make a clean break. Aquarius. March brings Aquarius a good mix of the routine while leaving space for spontaneous creativity. You'll want to take full advantage of those opportunities, so remember, prevention is the best medicine. Don't forget to stretch. In love, you will find joy in breaking away from the routine, yet mind the stars, and don't forget to stretch. If you would like to read a horror book this month, I recommend Blood Music by Greg Bear. Part horror, part sci-fi, but wholly engrossing. A tale of radical worldwide transformation thanks to the spread of an intelligent, mutating virus. While it may not provide the scares you may be seeking, the story will undoubtedly plant a seed in your fertile imagination. And what that seed sprouts, not even the stars could predict. That's for you to determine. If you would like something more literary, I recommend Home Fire by Camilla Shamsi, a modern retelling of Antigone set in England and featuring the sister of a British national who was killed when he went off to join ISIS. Good book. Check it out. Pisces. In March, the sun makes its annual visit to Pisces. Don't you think it's time you made a visit of your own? Don't wait till the last minute. Book ahead. Also, March is not the month to feel guilty about dedicating your energy to you. You've given so much already. Take some time to give to yourself, especially starting on March 11th when Venus makes its way into Pisces. Things are likely to heat up, if you know what I mean, which is further reason why you shouldn't put off making that visit, please. If you would like to read a horror book this month, I recommend The Vessel by Adam Neville. It's a short book, but a page-turner with likable characters. And it's about a caregiver who gets taken care of. Good book. Check it out. If you would like something more literary, I recommend Beasts of England by Adam Biles. Published in August of 2023, Beasts of England is a sequel, if you will, to Orwell's Animal Farm. Part novel, part parable. Its message is not heavy-handed. The message might not even be clear, actually, but sometimes, when seeking clarity, we need to explore the gray areas, don't we? I hope you have enjoyed this month's bookish horoscope. If that is the case, express that joy. Hit the like button, and especially subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. May the stars be forever in your favor. Thank you for watching. I'll see you at the next video.